I am broadcasting on all AM frequencies. I will be at the South Street Seaport every day at midday, when the sun is highest in the sky. If you are out there, if anyone is out there, I can provide food, I can provide shelter, I can provide security. If there's anybody out there, anybody, please, you are not alone.
Yesterday was November 12th, 2020, and it was exactly 48 years for me in this simulation, in this cycle. So I was born in November 12th, 1972, and I actually started working on a video that I was going to post up, and it was pretty much about most of my experiences from 1972 to 2020, and there's just some things that I have been kind of connected to, but not actually have, like I'm not really actually, those things that weren't affected because I was there, but I actually have met somebody or was at a specific point in time or something where some major events had happened in our country and stuff like that, But anyhow, and I was started to work on that video, and it was a lot of work, and the only thing I was lacking to finish was getting a bunch of testimonies from people that I've known since I've grown up, for them to actually, talk about the things and the experiences that, that they had when they were around me and stuff, to say, hey, this, and this. So anyhow, I was about to make some phone calls, about to start working on that process, and I thought to myself, I am really only putting that video together of my 48-year experience in this time loop, in this simulation, for a documented record for the simulation itself, and not for anybody else. Like, literally, I wasn't doing it to say, hey guys, look at all this stuff that I've done, because I'm not a bragger. I'm not the type of person that brags about what I do. I don't look for a pat on the back. I don't look for sympathy. I don't look for anything that has to do with self-absorption. Although I may talk about my experiences with people, and I may say, hey, I was a part of this or whatever that, it's only me sharing those experiences and sharing the things that I've seen or done, and just sharing that with them, but not saying I have this and you don't, or I've done that and you haven't, or look what I've done because I'm such a good person. I absolutely detest anyone who pulls that crap. I cannot stand people who do that. It shows actually a lack of self-esteem on their part. When you have a higher regards for yourself to the point where you are selflessness and you are not looking for praise, and you don't need, what I mean is you don't need praise is what I mean to say. You don't need it. So you don't look for it, so you don't put things out there to look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And that's one of the main reasons why I have not put, that's not one of the main reasons, but that's also another reason why I have not put up any videos of me and showing all these things that I've done. However, I'm going to show you some pictures in this video only for certain reasons, not because of that. That's not why I'm showing myself. First of all, I said I was going to do it, and I said that I would expose myself, so that the only reason why that I'm showing you, so that you can see that I am a real person, as far as in this simulation, as far as this reality, because all the 172 are as real as the NPCs. And see, when I listen to other people who are talking about the Matrix like they know something, and I hear them talking, they are always regurgitating stuff from film, from fantasy, like not reality or in what this simulation is. They're just regurgitating stuff from a script that somebody wrote. Although the scripts in some of the movies and stuff I plug things from these different movies or music or whatever, because it's the best way to get my point across. But I always constantly check myself by telling people that most likely a lot of the stuff in the movie is wrong, especially The Matrix. It's absurd to think that robots would, the only way that AI could possibly think to create self-sustained energy is through human beings. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It's a great fantasy, it's a fun movie, but all the humans are locked up in these little pods so that AI can suck. You know, come on, man. If AI was smart enough to do all that stuff that you saw in that movie, if you think that AI, which of course AI would be smart, but I mean it would be dumb enough to actually do that. But if you think AI would spend that much time and resources doing that, why wouldn't it just go into space? And when they said in the movie blotted out the sun, you know, AI blotted out the sun through nuclear explosions and stuff, so that's the reason why I can't get the solar. Come on, man. That's dumb. It's dumb. You think that it would not be creating spaceships to get out further, to expand out further, instead of sitting here trying to, I need to harvest human beings so that way I can get energy. That's just stupid. That's reptilian brain thinking. And I don't want to talk down about the reptilians, because if there's reptilian aliens and stuff like that, whatever you've been fed about that as well, that reptilian aliens are always going to be bad, and that these other aliens are always going to be good. Whatever it is that you have been fed through movies is most likely some version of some parts of truth, which just you've heard many, many times in your life, but a lot of it is just fantasy made up and lies. And there are also a lot of things there as diversions. When I had my experience with the extraterrestrial that came to me when I was sleeping in my karate school, and I don't care if you don't believe it. I showed the evidence. I've told people to recreate it. I don't care. At this point, I don't even care about making videos. I don't care about anything, because I know that we're in endgame. And for me, that really is my reality. So when people say, people want to think they know it all and stuff like that, you know what, buddy? Anybody who says that, I just challenge them to take a look at all the facts of 1972 and all the facts of 2020, and you try to discredit those connections of all those things. Go ahead. Go for it. Until then, shut up, because you're doing nothing but being another diversion. Or you are not just an NPC, but you're part of an antivirus, and you probably are not even aware of that. You know, it's just the way that this simulation works. Yeah, so I just don't even, I literally, after my experience with the extraterrestrial, and at first, like I said, I thought it may have been, hey, this may have been a devil or something like that. But when obviously, most people can't really look at facts and look and investigate things enough to not make an actual rational conclusion. They just automatically go to the dogma, of whatever their beliefs are, which is fine. You're supposed to, because NPCs have to protect the systems. That's it. Religious systems, banking systems, education systems. You get the point. Political systems. Do you understand how that works, or you don't? Because that is literally there to program anyone, and to program not just the NPCs or anything like that, but actually to help program the 172 who are actually experiencing this. And like people ask, well, where did you get the number? Go and watch my videos. I put it up. I call it airport. Look up the video. But anyhow, so yeah, the whole thing with the alien, the alien that came to visit me, it must have been reptilian feet. So it makes me wonder. Well, look, I got hit with all this knowledge, like all this stuff that I literally sat on a lot of stuff. Never said anything for 3 years about that thing, but then stuff started coming really, really clear to me. Like I would see things and just be like, wow, how come people don't see this? And I don't mean like delusional things like I'm hearing some other YouTubers talk about, they got these ghosts and all these things, and it maybe they're seeing those things, and I'm not discrediting that, but until you show evidence and proof. It's all just hearsay, and it doesn't stand up in any type of for anything. You know, because for thousands of years, and you may not be aware of this because you're inside of a program and your brain doesn't go back any further than 1972 or whatever, but for thousands of years, human beings have been making shit up for thousands of years, and they've helped rule, and they've changed the way people have thought because they said that, oh, there was, whatever, Santa Claus, period. Let's just say Santa Claus. You know, I mean, this is the Easter Bunny. You know, who's to say that 1,000 years from now, people don't say people in America were worshiping the Easter Bunny and it was a real thing. I mean, that's where you got to understand. But whatever, I don't even care. I really don't care. I am so I'm at the point where I know the simulation is about done because of looking up the facts, not because of a feeling, not because of a dream, not because of a vision, not because of tea leaves, not because of I heard something from someplace else. I literally looked up the facts that anyone else can look up. All the facts of 1972 of everything that would lead to a simulation regardless. It's an inevitable thing. It's going to happen. In 1972, all those things eventually were going to lead to a simulation. That all happened in 1 year. That's just, you'd have to be the dumbest son of a bitch in the world to believe that all those things happen in 1 year. But if you're in a simulation, and that's when the simulation starts in a time loop, then of course, that's when those things would start. And of course, there would be an ending time, which would be your end game, which is 2020. So if you don't understand that, you're never going to understand that. You need to accept that. Well, you're never going to accept that you're an NPC, but I have accepted it, that there are people who I care and love about and am very close to, and they're NPCs. You know, it's just the way it is. So anyhow, guys, you know, look, whether I keep posting these videos up or not, I don't know, because I just don't even know if it's, I keep seeing things, and every single day there are more and more connections to 1972. Every day it's overwhelming, and it becomes very disheartening because, like you see in my videos where I have Will Smith in the movie I Am Legend saying you're not alone and stuff like that. And sometimes I get people leaving comments stuff that makes me feel good because I'm like, okay, so there's other people seeing this, so I know I'm not alone on that, you know. But then I'm still waiting for someone else to actually post a video and talk about this shit. Because I've talked to other people who claim they're truthers, which is the stupidest damn thing. Claiming you're a truther, saying that you got the red pill. That has been used on every branch of any type of belief system that you can think of right now, because it's become the mainstream and it's become popular. To say you're a truther, to say you have the red pill is a huge turnoff for me, because it's almost the opposite of what truth is. It's the opposite of having a red pill. The red pill, you know, oh, well, I believe in this, or I believe in that, I believe in that, so I have the red pill, you know. Or, come on, man. If you can't see these things for yourself, I'm going a little bit longer here than 12 minutes. If you can't see these things for yourself and you cannot understand it, you will never understand it. You will just completely keep buying into shit. And it's just the way it is. And it's like, and it's frustrating for me in general, because I literally am just like, there is nobody out there making videos about this shit. There's nobody that's, when I talk to people who you would consider intelligent, very some people who have some, you know, who are on television, have some kind of fame, and I say things to them, and I've sent them messages and stuff like that, and they just don't even care. It's like the whole thing with the alien thing, and having evidence, having actual video evidence of footprints left behind, showing the door, showing the alarm, showing all that stuff, and saying, hey, somebody recreated, and showing this evidence, and taking that to Tom DeLonge, taking that to, which I did. I actually broke down and said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and send it to Tom DeLonge, but without my name, without who I am, or any of that stuff. And now I'm at the point where I'm sure, like I said, you see pictures of me and stuff. I don't even care. just don't even care now. Like before, I was quiet about it. I didn't want anybody to know who I was. But at this point, I know for a fact that 2020 is ticking down. It's almost over. Endgame is here, and I don't even care. I don't care. Here I am. This is who I am. You know, I am a real person, whatever, you know, real as far as reality inside this matrix, but I don't care anymore. I just don't care. And I don't mean that I don't care as in a fact of I've kind of given up and I'm just waiting for death, because that's not me. I'm going to tell you something else too about me. I have been preparing for war since I was a little kid, and I don't even know why. I never knew why. Like almost my entire life. I even had a relationship with a girl when I was like 20, in my early 20s, somebody I very much cared about, and she would tell you that when we broke up that I had told her that I felt like there was a war, eventually I was going to be sucked up in some type of a war or something, and it just wouldn't work out, you know, and things kind of crazy at the time, but, you know, I have always felt like since I was a child I was preparing for war, always. And I've never lost a fight, and I've gotten in many, 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 many fights. And that was one of the testimonies I was going to have my friend, you know, some of the people that knew me from the past talk about, that I've never lost any fights. And I've fought 3 and 4 people at a time and never lost a fight. And I've always had this weird kind of, like I always felt like I had this, like you may say guardian angel, but what kind of angel is going to guard you to go beat up people or beat people up? That's stupid. You know, or maybe some of you might say, I have a guardian demon, you know, even though I didn't start the fights. You know, when you have 4 people versus 1, you figure they got the odds. So I've always felt like I've had kind of this, like this shield around me that has kind of protected me throughout the entire matrix. And and I'm at the point where I don't care. So I'm not sitting, like I said, I'm not sitting around thinking, you know, oh, I'm going to sit here and curl up in a ball and wait for the end to come, because that's not me. I have been prepared. I'm more prepared than anybody you know. I am the most prepared person for almost any type of situation the Matrix is about to bring at me, as far as I can think of, and I'm like waiting for it. Like, that's what I do. I have a martial arts school. I teach people to be prepared. And that's one reason why I'm not showing you guys the stuff of the name of the school. I'll show my face. I'm not going to show you the name of the school because that's none of your business until the end of this year, when everything, you know, I may release a video with revealing everything, but I just don't even care. I am prepared. And I have been trying to prepare other people through teaching them martial arts throughout these, you know, past almost 20 years after 9/11, which changed my life and said, hey, I need to start learning self-defense. So I earned a 4th degree in Taekwondo. I earned a 4th degree in Kempo Karate. I earned a black belt in a sword fighting art. I've trained in many, many different weapons. I'm a combat archer. I'm physically fit. Maybe I've gained some few pounds this year because I just said whatever because it's 2020. I am prepared, and I've always been preparing. And I've been preparing for Endgame. I've been preparing for this moment. And I didn't know why until this year. Literally, I didn't know 2020 was going to be Endgame. I didn't know this was going to be it. I only came to this conclusion that we were going into Endgame because in the beginning of the year when I posted my first video, I said, hey, this year is going to be a special year. It's going to be a special year. The stuff that I was seeing from 1972, and I said 2020 is a year. In my very first video in January, I said 2020 is a year for clarity. I said, if you go back and you watch my video from like January 9th or whatever, 2020, so, and you look and see all my videos, you will find no other videos that I've talked about any of this stuff before January this year. And I said 2020 is clarity. Hindsight is 2020. Right? I didn't come up with a hindsight thing until a little bit later on, but I knew that this year was 2020 and everything, and I just felt like things were going to be revealed this year. And as time was going on, I started noticing all these things that were connected to 1972 that were happening in 2020 as the year started picking up in, you know, February, March, April. and like people were dying that were born in 1972. There was like a lot of these things, like they were talking about cash is going to be maybe replaced this year with a digital currency. And I started looking at all these things and I was like, holy shit. There are things that are connected to this year to 1972. I didn't know it was going to be that. How did I know that? Can I tell the future? Go and watch my video from January 9th. And I told you that this year was going to be a year of clarity. I never said that about any year ever. And how do I know these things? How do these things come about? I did not get the clarity until after my visit in 2017, until 3 years ago, when whatever it was that came to visit me, most likely a reptilian or something like that. I didn't really have clarity until then. That's when I did. And here's another thing I want to bring up too, when people try to say, oh, reptilians, this and that, and they're bad and stuff. How do you know that you're right? How do you know that you were told the truth about reptilians? How do you know that they're actually even bad? Because you're told that through film and movies? What if the actual, I don't want to say anything's evil, because everything that's evil has a perspective that's doing good, most likely. But what if the ones that are responsible for putting out that message, what if they are the ones who mean you the most harm? And they want to tell you these things are evil because they don't want you to accept those things as giving you any type of truth. Here's what I can tell you. There were reptilian footprints that walked across that floor right to where I was sleeping. And then after that, I was hit with clairvoyance that I'd never had before about everything. Things do not get past me at all. They just don't. Like, I just see the things, and the connections are so rapid and so fast that I see them, and it's just like, okay, yeah, this is it. How did other people not see this? How do you all not understand that America, Germany, Rome, and Egypt are all connected through I'm going to say something here that's going to make me as a target. But there is one race of human beings, and I almost feel like I should not say this, and I've been holding on to this, but I don't even care. There are one race of human beings who has traveled through every single one of those countries, and they've all fallen. And I'm not saying that the entire race, but there are a group of people, and they are within that race. And there's a group of people who were there for the fall of Egypt, who were there for the fall of Rome, who were there for the fall of Germany, and who are here in America right now and are here for the fall of America. Now, in this time loop that you're in, that is what you're experiencing. You're seeing that happening. This is when it all comes together. So in 2021, in the natural reality, that group may own this country or own the entire earth. They are extremely powerful, more powerful than you can possibly imagine. It doesn't take an army to rule the world. It takes an idea. It takes a voice. That's what rules. Armies come and go. Kingdoms and empires come and go. But an idea will travel from one to another, to another, to another, to another. And that idea doesn't die, because it's not the army. It's not the kings or the queens or the emperors. It's one group, and they control it all. And I don't hate them. If they're not going to do it, some other group's going to do it. So I'm not speaking out against them. But here's what I can tell you. Most likely, that group is not human. It wouldn't make sense for being human. Most likely, that group, and this is me speculating stuff. When I talk about 1972 and I talk about 2020, those are things that I talk about that are facts that you can look up as factual evidence. Now I'm going to talk about things that are clear to me because of how all this other stuff has come clear to me. That group most likely has either lived either is immortal and can live for thousands of years, or has found a way to sustain life for a very, very long time, and to be able to keep manipulating and changing things so that they can keep their group going. And look, the thing is for you to understand, and most of you NPCs, and I don't even know why I'm talking about any of this, I don't even know why. Because we're in a simulation anyhow, the shit's already done. It's already been done. And either they rule the world or they don't rule the world. Now, how does that work with me having a reptilian alien coming to me inside this simulation and giving me this clairvoyance? That alien could be a hack in the simulation. It could be a race that actually hacked into the Alcor DARPA program that's running and hacked in and gave me this information, not for me to escape, but maybe to educate people while you're here, while the 172 are inside of this simulation, to let you know what's going on out in the natural world. So while you're in here and you're experiencing this over and over and over, while you're waiting to get out and go into the natural world and to get whatever cure you need, or whatever that they didn't have available to you at the time, or for whatever reason that they have, so that you went into that pod. And that's another thing when people talk about, oh, I just want to escape, That is you believing into the crap from Matrix movies and believing in the crap from movies to put fears in your mind, which actually holds you into the simulation. Or you're an NPC and that's really messing you up. Those things are holding you inside the simulation. There's no, I need to escape, you don't need to escape. Those are things, that's crap that's fed into your mind. Leave that crap alone. Get rid of that thought pattern. Accept where you are, and accept what it is, and accept the fact that if you're part of the 172, you're here for a reason until your contract is up, that you signed and said that this is what the stimulations that I want for when I want it to come out. Because if you prematurely wake up, you may prematurely wake up to a very bad situation for yourself. And then you look around and see all the other pods and you realize that, hey, there's not all these AI taking over. It's just regular human beings who are doctors and who are stuff here to help me. And you look around to these things, and then you realize that, there's no, like, I had a friend once who I thought he was a friend, but he wasn't a friend. He and he was NPC, no doubt. There's no doubt he is an NPC. In fact, I have a thing that I put up for an NPC challenge on my AI video, and he said, man, I can't do it. He said, I think I'm an NPC. When he saw the stuff about the alien stuff, and he knows me really, really well, and he saw the stuff from my martial arts school, and he saw the footprints and stuff like that, and I told him, hey, look, all these things are happening. I showed him all these things from 1972, and I saw all these things. His eyes got real watery, and he said, why you? And I said, I don't know, man. I said, look, I have no idea why me. I don't know. I'm not the type of person to run around looking for attention like that. I mean, I was an actor and stuff, but that wasn't because I wanted to be famous. It wasn't because I wanted money. I wanted to make movies. I wanted to write scripts and tell stories and entertain people. That was what that was for. But I'm more of an introvert. When you have big gatherings of people that you go and hang out with, you enjoy doing that, correct? You like to go hang out with like all these people and have all these friends around you, and you have a big family. I don't have that. I have one person I call my best buddy. He's my best buddy. At the end of this video, he was with me yesterday for my birthday, and I will share that with you. And he's my best buddy, and I tell you what, I will trade 10 cool guys, 10 cool people any day of the week. 10 of the coolest people that that you can think of, that everybody would want to hang out with. I would trade 10 of them any day of the week for one of him. Because I can identify more with him than I can do with any of them. For sure, without a doubt. I would rather spend my time with my best buddy than with any of them. And I don't look for, look, this is my friend, praise me. I don't care about that, because I don't care about how you think about me anyhow, or any of that stuff. this is my experiences that I'm having. That's what matters to me. Not trying to make you impressed or trying to get you to come into my world, because that's not what it is. What these videos that I'm putting out here, when I'm sharing the information with you, is because I was trying to desperately reach out to try to find anybody else who's part of the 172 who are having these experiences to say, yeah, and have somebody say, and then I could maybe get more information from them, so that I'm not feel like I'm the only one with the information. That maybe they have information, and you know what? Some people have given me feedback, say, hey, this happened in 1972, and now it's happened in 2020, and those things are so important because, at this point, I don't even care, because like, there's so much now, it's overwhelming, and the fact that nobody's really talking about it, and I'm talking about scientists and whoever out there who claims that they're a truther, cannot see all the shit that happened in 1972 and a whole bunch of that shit that's ending in 2020. I've heard on the news where they refer to this happened in 1972 and now that person is dead, or this happened in 1972 and now he's running for election, and this happened in 1970. And I keep hearing them saying it, but none of them assholes can say, hey, you notice something? Like 12 events happened in 1972 in the last few months and have been undone in 2020. Wow, maybe there's some type of connection there. But you don't hear that. You don't hear that at all. It's like they don't even see it. It's like they don't even know. Or they're just antiviruses, and they're just NPCs who just kind of keep going along with the systems that you protect as an NPC. People who are not, I can't really say that people who are part of the 172 are not going to protect the systems, because they have to as well. They won't do it on the extent of as a mindless zombie, but they want to protect this because it's protect. But look, we're at the end game. This is it. The time loop's over. In my opinion, from looking at facts, this is it. It's over. The facts of 1972 and the facts of 2020. Do you know that I heard this morning and I'm going to ramble on for a while because I don't even care. I don't even care anymore. So I'm going to ramble because the information I'm putting out there, it doesn't really matter to the smallest minority, the smallest group possible of people in this simulation is the only people it's really going to matter to. The NPCs, they don't care. They literally don't care. They will take all this information, all them facts, and they'll dismiss it because they're NPCs. And when I hear other people saying, oh, NPCs haven't being aware of being an NPC or being aware of other NPCs doesn't mean that they are from a natural reality. That's only NPCs who are, or that's antivirus software that is trying to expose some things that you're going to notice as anomalies, so that way it can protect what's really going on. So that way you will, and then kind of make light of it instead of really understanding everything that you're actually in a time loop. In a time loop makes sense anyhow, but I don't even know where I was going with this. I don't even know. I don't know, and I'm at the point where I haven't really given up on doing videos. I think I will still keep putting out videos, and I'm only doing it. I'm not doing it now. I'm at the point where I'm not doing it for you. Now I'm at the point where I'm doing it as kind of like a dig at the system. Like I'm kind of sticking it to the operating system that we're in. Like now I'm kind of doing it as kind of being like an asshole. Like, hey, such a great program that I figured it out. Although I had help, but now I know there, you cannot hide it. But anyhow, what I was going to say about 1970, this morning, what I heard this morning, and on C-SPAN, and you can look this up. They're talking about going back to the moon. Right. Because the last time they went to the moon was in 1972. Why wouldn't they be talking about going back to the moon in 2020? And even though they're not saying, oh, we're going to go, this year, like, I didn't catch all of it because I was drifting in and out trying to get a nap, and I heard it over, and I heard it like a few times, going back to the moon, and I was like, oh my God, come on. I mean, how do you not see? So why don't they say, at their time, last time we were on the moon was 1972. Oh, in 1972 this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and oh yeah, it was the last time we got a full picture of Earth, full clear picture of Earth. And I hear people say, well, there's all these facts saying that we never went to the moon, because of the footprint size and the size of the lunar module and all this and that. Yes, dude. Of course you don't believe we went to the moon because you're in a damn simulation, bro. You're in a simulation from 1972, which was the last time they went to the moon, to 2020. And yes, things got altered, so that way you instead of questioning and saying, hey, why did they actually really stop going? Because let's say that there was enough facts that you could not discredit the fact that they went to the moon in 1972. Let's just say, I don't know. Let's say that they actually went to the moon in 1972 was the last time they went, and there was no way to disprove it. Like all that other stuff that come out, there's no way to disprove they went to the moon. Wouldn't you find it more suspicious that they never went back since 1972 than you would by saying, hey, look, here's all these things that say that they didn't go to the moon, so maybe it's just a conspiracy, they didn't go. That kind of lets you kind of laugh it off and brush it aside. Like, oh, I guess they never went. But if you're so overwhelming facts that they went to the moon in 1972 and they stopped going, I bet you people would dig more and dig more and dig more and dig more. But when they say, oh, look, here's some things showing that it's a good possibility they didn't go. But you guys don't see that. You just buy into whatever shit conspiracies are out there. Which sounds good. Sounded good to me too. But then, now when I show you all the things that happened in 1972 and all the things that are going down in 2020, one of those things was the last time they went to the moon. So it should make you go back and revisit and rethink that whole narrative of it was a hoax. Because I thought it was a hoax too. You're in a time loop. You're in a 1972 to 2020 time loop. That's where you are. You just, whether you accept it or you don't, but at this point, like I said, I will keep putting out videos, but I'm not going to be doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it because I want to stick it to the system. I want to stick it to the devs, the developers of the piss poor time loop freaking simulation that they created. Because, and I'm telling you it's piss poor, because it's way too easy. Like, I don't know how I didn't figure it out before. Maybe because, like all of you who are 172, not the NPCs, because you'll just accept whatever. If you're an NPC, you definitely 100% buy into at least one of their systems. One of the systems that will keep you locked into and you want to claim that you want out of this matrix and all this and that, but yet you still buy into systems. You buy into the political system, the banking system, the government system, the the religious systems, the school systems, whatever systems that help create that help program you. All those systems program you. They're all. It's like, what's his name? I don't know if you guys ever heard of Jordan Maxwell, but Jordan Maxwell was talking about how he talks a lot about the English language, and one of the things is programming. When you say you're going to go to a theater or watch a movie, what's the program? Because you're being programmed. So yeah, I don't know. Look, I'm doing it now because I want to stick it as much as possible to the matrix, and whatever is going to happen to me is going to happen to me before this year's up. But I definitely know this is end game. I know that we're going to go back through this time loop, and you don't have to believe it. I don't give a damn what you believe, because I am not here. I've never told anybody to believe in me. I've never made myself the forefront. I've never said that because I have visions. I've told you simply, look at all these facts that's happening. It has nothing to do with belief. It just has to do with accepting fact. And that is not what belief means. That's completely different. I'm saying accept that these are facts, or don't accept them and go look it up for yourself and find out that, hey, guess what? You're wrong for not thinking that they were actual factual evidence, that's evidence, and now you find out, hey, it's all fact, and then look at the facts in 2020 and tell me that those things are not connected, because they are connected. Trump, Nixon, Amy Coney Barrett, Shirley Chisholm, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Hubert Humphrey, currency, movies, freaking you name it. It's not just the political stuff. There is tons of shit that happened in 1970. Football, America's most watched sport, connected 100% to 1972 and 2020. Even if you don't care about football, it don't matter. Even if you don't care about politics, it don't matter. Those things are still connected. Whether you care about those things or not, it does not matter. They are still tethered from 1 year, 1972, and tethered to 2020. And there's so many overwhelming strings that are connected. There are so many that it's undeniable unless you're an absolute imbecile. If you're a natural human being from a natural reality and you cannot see those facts, you're a complete imbecile. You are an imbecilic mind. And I don't mean that as in a mean way. Let me recant that, because there are people who I deal with on a daily basis that you may say, oh, that person is an imbecile. But I'm going to tell you that those people, in my opinion, are far more intelligent than most. Because they understand the basics. And the basics, like we say in martial arts, is what makes up all the pretty advanced parts of the art that you learn. Like all the basics, the basic punches, the basic kicks, and the basic blocks turn into all these beautiful, artsy, beautiful, advanced part of the system. There's another system. There's a system that I have bought into. So there you go. Martial arts system. Okay? But I also have found that in martial arts there's a dogmatic mindset in that system too. And I never bought into it. Never bought into it. The whole thing with jiu-jitsu, the whole thing with different, like Aikido, there are certain systems and I don't give a shit. And I talked and I spoke out against them for a long time and people got angry. But those systems have a time and a place. And first of all, the one, jiu-jitsu, its time and place is mostly going to be in a cage in a one-on-one fight. But in an actual street fight, if you take my homeboy down on the ground and you start giving him an armbar, I'm going to come up there and kick your freaking head in while you're on the ground dealing with him. Oh, by the way, don't try to get up, because unless you already got him locked up and you already broke his arm and I'm over there quick enough, he's going to grab you and hold you and keep you there in place while you're trying to wrestle on him, and I'm going to knock your head off. Maybe there's 3 or 4 of us. So the whole buying into that's the best martial arts system in the world, yeah, why? Because you see it in the ring, you see it on television, and you see a referee break it up when somebody bites them, or somebody eye pokes them, or somebody drops an elbow into the spine, because those things are illegal in jiu-jitsu. They are not illegal in traditional and the other martial arts that I train in. So, and I'm not here to trash on that, but it was one of those things that I noticed that I'm like, wow, how can people just be complete sheep? And it wasn't their sheep. There are NPCs. And they're protecting a system, a martial arts system, that they're told by the media, they're told by Joe Rogan and television, that this is the best system in the world. Yet, I have never seen one. I put the challenge out there a while ago, some years ago. Show me video evidence of you sparring as a jiu-jitsu guy against 2 and 3 attackers at a time, because in stand-up arts they do that all the time. You know, in black belt tests and a lot of these stand-up arts, they'll have 3 and 4 black belts fight that one candidate who's getting ready to take their black belt test, who's taking their black belt test, and they have to fight off all of them at the same time. You can't do that in jiu-jitsu. Prove it, show it. So, and the fact that people kept were just like, no, it's better, it's the best, this is what you need. I said, yeah, there's things in there that you can use that are practical, but that system is not the end all be all, but yet everybody bought into that. And I didn't understand it then, why they're doing it. It used to drive me nuts. Like, how can they not see that this, I know for a fact, because I fought 3 and 4 guys at a time. And I know that one time I got knocked down when I was sucker punched, and as soon as I hit the ground, I pop back up because I don't want to be down there and 3 or 4 guys start kicking the shit out of me on the ground. And I'm just thinking, how can people be that dumb? They can't, that's just too basic. It's too easy to understand that. If you're just going to roll around on the ground, the only way you know how to fight is to take somebody down on the ground and start grappling them. That sets you up for failure against multiple attackers. And I couldn't understand it then, but I do now. It's because it is one of the systems. The martial arts system is a system that the NPCs protect. Whatever they're told, whatever the program tells them, whatever the operating system wants them to think, the banking system, political system, religious systems, and I'm not saying that those things don't account for the natural reality and make sense, but in a natural reality, I don't think that they can be this stupid. And that's why I think I'm still going to keep making these videos, because it's just like, there's so many holes in your operating system that you guys suck. And I want a damn refund, and I'm saying that right now on this video, and I'm going to put it on the internet. And I'm telling you right now, whoever's running this system, I want a damn refund, because you screwed up. In the fact that even some alien or somebody who hacked the system and made themselves like an alien to unlock my brain so that way I can see all these things as we're getting closer to the end game in this time loop, you screwed up, because you should have had things there to protect me from that. You should have had better Agent Smiths there to protect me from all of this, because now at the end it's all coming clear, it's all relevant, it's all, now at the end of this simulation, it's all gotten to the point where it's destroyed the immersion, it's destroyed the fun, because I've been so damn fixated and focused on it for this entire year, because things just keep happening, boom, 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 you can't get away from them, that I want a damn refund. Now I want a refund. You guys better hook me up on my way out. When I get out of here, I want to be hooked up with whatever. I don't know, a flying car. I don't know, we're probably 400 years. I've been telling people, because people always had a hard time understanding how old I was. I've had that almost my entire life. In fact, people would say my voice always sound younger than what I am. And that makes sense, because when I went into the pod, I probably was younger. So my voice is what I know as far as truth as to who I am. So that carried over into the simulation no matter how I look. Your voice is probably always going to remain the same, because it's something that you hear and you don't see. So you can project yourself to look like however you want as you're coming into the simulation, but your voice is most likely going to be so conditioned because it was something that you heard that you won't, you can disguise your voice, but your natural voice is going to come out. I believe that. That's just a belief. I can't prove it. So yeah, people would say often to me that they didn't know how old. They asked me how old I was, and I tell them yes, and they say, I don't know, how old are you? And I just always say 400 years old. Thinking back, maybe subconsciously, I'm already 400 years out from 2020, and maybe that's how far. Maybe that was what my time frame was set up to. What they said to me, hey, on your contract, when do you want to come out of the pod? And I said, hey, I don't care. I've lost everything that I have right now, so I don't care. I'll stand there for 400 years. And it may be an extended long contract, and they may have said, well, this guy's crazy. But whatever. If he wants to stand there for 400 years, stand there for 400 years, and we'll get him out. Maybe it's just something, maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe I'm not doing 400 years. But it's just one of those things that I keep looking back at things that happened in my life, and I keep thinking, like, this happened, that happened, this happened, and now understand everything in 2020, the clarity. Now I'm getting all the hindsight of my life in the past 48 years and all these weird things I've done and how I was so always discomplacent from everybody else. Like I said, I'm a biracial. I was a biracial kid that grew up that was born in 1972 and grew up down south in Florida. There was nobody like me. I was the only one in my school, the only one in my neighborhood that was biracial. So I've always kind of been on the outs. Never looked to trying to get on the inside. Always had to fight the war. Always had to fight the war. Always getting prepared for this moment. So, and that's why when you're hearing the message for me and I'm giving you ultra neutral perspective on everything, religion, science, politics, race, it's because I was born ultra neutral. It wasn't something that I had to learn. I was born this way, to be ultra neutral. And when you're getting a message from me, you're not getting it from any type of perspective. You're literally getting a natural, raw neutrality. There are no liberal or Republican or, any type of, no type of religions. You're not getting any type of that stuff from me. You're getting straight neutral message. And so anyhow, yes, the video has gone on for a while, and I noticed, and I'm going to say this too before I go, I noticed that there's another YouTuber who's been watching. I noticed some YouTubers, they watch my videos and I hear them echo some of my stuff. I've heard Richie from Boston echo some of my stuff. I've heard High Impact echo some of my stuff. Like, just, minor things. I'm like, yeah, you never said that before. And I just said that in the video, now you are. But there's another YouTuber out there who literally just did word from word of some shit that I said in 2 videos and try to identify with some of the things that I've said about myself. And I'm like, that's just weird because you never said those things ever before. Now I'm saying them, you're saying them, and it's helping me understand. And I was like, before I thought this guy may have been one of the 172, but now I'm thinking more of he's just an NPC. And it's not his fault, but he has to echo. Some NPCs are complex to the point where they have to echo people who are part of the 172. So that way, it's a reflection back to someone who's in 172, so they don't feel like they will kind of eject diversions by injecting systems to help kind of divert you away from the truth, right? They won't accept all, and they won't even talk he didn't speak. All the conclusions that I've come to were because of facts. He talked about those conclusions, but he never talked about any of the facts in 1972 and how they connected to 2020. So he just took the things that I had that were conclusions that were obviously truth, and he made those as truth that he figured out, but he didn't give any of his viewers the facts, which means that he has to be an NPC protecting the systems. Because to give you the facts is to reveal how it all works out, so that way you start looking into it too. And if you're part of 172, then you will start understanding more that you're in a simulation. And it's probably such a bad thing I'm even talking about this stuff. I probably shouldn't even be saying this stuff and trying to reach out to people, because it's not fair if you're in a pod and you're part of the 172 and you literally don't need immersion broken for you. But at the same time, I feel like we're coming at endgame, so I don't even care because I mean, if we were in... Okay, so here, I'm going to tell you something else, too. Right? I have people who are extremely close to me. I won't tell them about this stuff because I'm almost 100% sure they're NPCs. And I don't want to cause stress in their world. I've already caused enough stress in some of the NPCs around me. I've caused so much stress in some of them that it's caused me stress. And I wish I would just shut up, but sometimes I want to talk to them and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe you can see this, and it's caused them stress, and it's caused them, and I feel like it's caused their programming harm. And what I mean by that, so that makes it clear so you understand this, is you ever seen one of those little cars that you, back in the day, they made these cars that you turn them on, they're like little toys, and the car, you put it inside of a box, and it runs into a wall, and then it flips and turns around, runs to another wall, flips, turns around, runs to another wall, and it keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It never finds its way out. It just keeps running into walls and keeps running into walls, and you sit there and you laugh, I look at the car, it's going back and forth. It will do that until its batteries die. it won't do that and shut itself off and say, okay, well, I'm just bouncing into these walls. No place for me to go. So I'm just going to shut down. And then later on, I'll start back up and try the walls again. No, it will do that until its batteries die. And that happens to NPCs because that's the way the programming works. You literally start blocking walls of the system off for them. Like they have all these systems that they protected their whole life and they believed into. And you give them these facts from 1972 and 2020, and it puts a wall, starts putting up walls on those systems, and it starts boxing them in to the point where they're like, they have no place to go because they don't know what to do. And it ends up running down their batteries. So I feel like it's not fair for me to do that to them. And I try not to because it's just, look, here's another thing I want to say too. I care about this digital world. I care about this simulated reality. I never hit an animal once in all the years that I've driven my car or vehicles. I've never ran an animal over. And after finding out we're in a simulation, I still won't. I won't even kill a bug, other than spiders. But other than that, I won't kill bugs. If I see a worm, I will literally help that worm get out of the sun from the concrete and get it to some wet grass so they can live. I can't fish anymore because I can't even see myself killing the fish. How bizarre is that? That when I believed that when the immersion was active for me, when I believed in the immersion and the immersion was good, that I could fish, I could, things were, like, oh, I thought it was natural reality. But now I'm not, don't think it's natural reality. Now I'm more protective of the simulation, even though I'm building up walls for the NPCs. I think this is it for me. I'm gonna go because maybe I'll put up another video tomorrow. I think I've pretty much rambled on enough. I doubt if anybody's even there still listening. Nobody probably even's listening this far into it, which I don't care. Like I said, I don't do the videos for money. You don't see me trying to, or for, beliefs reasons, to have somebody say, oh yeah, just so let's all, I don't do it for any of that stuff. I was doing the videos because I was trying to reach out to the other 172. This is my best buddy, right? My best buddy. Yes. You know what today is? It's my birthday. I've had a pretty decent life. Have you had a good life? Do you have any complaints about your life?
No.
I don't really have a whole lot of complaints about my life. We've had pretty decent lives. Yeah? Yeah. A lot of people out there, they complain about their lives. Right? They don't know. Yeah. But you have no complaints. Because you're happy. And I'm happy. You want to tell me happy birthday? Show me how you do happy birthday. That means happy birthday? Thank you so much. My buddy. My best buddy. You're like my only friend, man. Best friend I ever had.